Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more. Welcome to your midday forecast. Joining you a smidge before lunchtime. The Day 2 Storm Prediction Center update was just sent, and that is usually updated. Sorry, there was a spammer in the chat. Got rid of them. Anyway, that update is issued at 11:30 in the morning, so I was waiting for that to get issued so I could read through it, just to make sure that my general thinking fell in line with their general thinking, and that's generally the case. Take a look at the visible satellite. We already have some thunderstorms off to our west. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute, but quite a bit of cloud cover across the area, and I don't really expect the clouds to budge much as we go through the rest of the day. A look at some of the severe weather alerts or just weather alerts across the central and southern United States out to the west. Those are winter storm warnings. Obviously, no bother for us. Wind advisories across northeastern Texas. Kind of a short fuse tornado watch that was needed through the Ozarks late this morning. Across portions of northeastern Oklahoma and southwestern Missouri. In fact, we just had one tornado warning allowed to expire in southwestern Missouri, fighting off a sneeze, and I'm looking directly into these lights. And again, you guys, we're going to get to me having to sneeze at some point, and my wife can attest when it starts, it doesn't stop for a while. So and it's not the most attractive thing. I don't know of anybody that is attractive when they sneeze, but it's not good. Anyway, that tornado watch should be wrapping up soon. In fact, in the next 20 minutes or so across northwestern Arkansas. Obviously, that's no bother for us. And then the newest has been a flood watch that's just been issued for portions of central and eastern Mississippi. Does not include any of our Mississippi counties, but something to be aware of. And then a small craft advisory was just issued. That just popped up on the map, and I just wanted to click on it. Anyway, a look at the radar. Radar always made possible by Browns Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Residential or commercial, by the way. And we are already starting to see the thunderstorms making their way through portions of the Ozarks. As I mentioned, there have been a few tornado warnings needed earlier today southeast of Oklahoma City. And then you can see the tornado warning that was issued briefly just north of the Joplin, Missouri area. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Fayetteville and down toward Fort Smith. All of that continuing to move off to the north and east. And so again, not really impacting our area, but it's something worth noting, especially with this lead disturbance that we talked about through most of the week. And I had mentioned that lead disturbance was going to take the better ingredients for thunderstorms, at least in the short term for Thursday, off to our north and west. So as we move to the radar here locally, and again, most of this is very, very isolated, scattered light stuff, but general scattered showers have started to increase across the region. This is the National Weather Service radar out of Shreveport, and again, I could switch to different radar vantage points, but it's really just going to lead to the same general thing. Showers, as you take a look at the Fort Johnson, Fort Polk radar. Jackson, same story. Showers starting to pop up across northeastern sections of Louisiana. But this is just a kind of a response to the moisture return. It's a very saturated air mass, so at the surface, winds continue out of the south, and those winds at breezy at times kind of come in waves as they move through the region, and that can fire off these little isolated showers. Upper 60s to low 70s, on our way into the mid to maybe even upper 70s by the end of the day. Just really depends on the clouds. But dew points, mid to upper 60s. Plenty of moisture to work with. We talk about it all the time, the ingredients needed for severe weather. The SLIM is what you'll hear a lot of people talk about. SLIM, shear, lift, instability, and moisture. Kind of like the ingredients on a cake. Oh, just started raining at my house. And that's the other thing to note, is that while we see a lot of this rainfall on radar, and it looks rather pedestrian, I guess there is quite a bit of deep layered moisture. So in the general thought process, there could be some brief downpours, although they don't look like much on radar. You could see a brief shower here or there. Again, dew points mid to upper 60s, plenty of warm, humid air, the moisture that's needed, the M of SLIM, if you will, that could feed severe storm potential. Even as early as tomorrow morning in some spots. We'll get to that in just a minute as well. Winds quite breezy out of the south in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range for most locations. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 frontage road in Monroe. New year means new models on all ATV side-by-sides and all that stuff, so go see Mike and the gang for more. The showers have already started to develop across the area again, so computer models kind of did a pretty darn good job on that. As we go through the rest of the day, it will be more of the same, just showers generally. But as I mentioned, embedded in this southerly flow, you can see the winds out of the south across much of the Louisiana coastline, and then they become more southwesterly. And as those winds converge, at times that helps to fire off additional showers and thunderstorms. And you can see that kind of being indicated through portions of the Mississippi Valley. What's happening is very subtle disturbances or perturbations, whatever you want to call them, in the low-level flow and in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that's helping to drive what will likely be multiple waves of thunderstorms through the daytime hours on Friday. Some spots could see pre-dawn showers and thunderstorms. They will carry with it an isolated severe weather threat. Again, it's a lot of very warm, humid air, and it doesn't take much in our area to at least fire off an isolated storm potential. And then as you get the front to move into the region and the deeper trough of low pressure, that adds kind of another aspect that helps provide a lift in the atmosphere. It helps to provide deep layer shear in the atmosphere. But the problem with it is the upper storm system has been trending slower and slower and slower in the forecast. And so it opens us up. Man, the rain's really coming down now. This is the cool thing about having a window. I worked for 20 years and never had a window. I have a window now. I can see stuff. It's neat. Anyway, what I mentioned is, like I said, it opens us up for a longer period of opportunity for multiple waves of thunderstorms. A morning wave, an early afternoon wave, and perhaps another late afternoon, evening wave of thunderstorms, which is indicated here as Futurecast shows as the actual front moves through late Friday night into Saturday morning. Still some isolated storm potential. I think the clouds are going to linger through much of the day on Saturday. I don't think the rain chances will linger, but I think the clouds are going to hang around through much of the day Saturday. Cooler air continues to pull in through the day Sunday until high pressure sets over us on Monday. So we continue this cooling trend behind the front, and I know it gets kind of lost behind the severe weather threat, but we'll fall into the 50s for highs Saturday in most spots, and then stay in the 50s, even the low 50s for Sunday and Monday. Some spots may not even get out of the 40s for Sunday. So again, some colder air is on the way. A lot of us will drop back below freezing for Monday morning, and then maybe again for Tuesday morning as well. A look at the severe weather threat. Again, all your alerts and severe weather hazards are made possible by Allegiance Health Network. It shows us with quite a bit of expanded marginal risk possibilities. And I know it says, the banner says today. This outlook also goes through tomorrow morning, and that's really the green area in our coverage area is really focused on the potential for early morning thunderstorm development. Some storms could produce some damaging wind gusts, and then that threat becomes more widespread as we go through the day tomorrow. As I mentioned, multiple waves of thunderstorms are perhaps possible through the daytime hours on Friday. Along that note, again, I don't want to get overly specific, but if I were to say the areas that have the best potential for severe weather within this outlook area, I would say would be this region right here. I would generally think the folks along the Mississippi Valley, the southeastern portions of the coverage area into western Mississippi, I think you folks probably have the best chance of not only seeing severe thunderstorms, but also perhaps seeing multiple waves of severe thunderstorms. That doesn't guarantee you will. I'm just saying you have the best ingredients out of the entire area. So that's just my general thought process there. Here's a look at what's called, it's labeled as severe storm potential, but it's called the Energy Helicity Index, and it's essentially an index that combines wind shear and instability in the atmosphere. So it looks at two different severe weather parameters and kind of throws it onto a map for us. And I like it because I think it's a helpful tool. It shows that while we do have severe storm potential through the course of the daytime hours today, it's really limited instability with limited shear. As we go through the overnight hours tonight, we get a little bit more instability, especially, again, note areas along the Mississippi Valley, where we perhaps get a little bit of what we call confluence, and it just provides some lift in the atmosphere. Also helps to kind of amplify the wind shear amounts, which would lead to those bolder, brighter colors. By tomorrow morning, we hit the stable point of the morning hours, where the atmosphere is cooled and stabilized to its lowest points, if you will. And then as we go through the day, we feed daytime heating, and it allows for storms to start developing again. But again, also on that note, we're wringing out ingredients. There's only so much to work with. So as we take some of that instability and build thunderstorms, we use it up. And it can only be replaced so much until the cold front advances through the area later on Friday night into early Saturday. So it sets us up along and south of I-20 with another opportunity for storm potential late Friday night. As I mentioned, there's kind of multiple waves of thunderstorms. There's the morning opportunity, there's the early afternoon opportunity, and then there's the evening opportunity. I think the Mississippi Valley has the best chance of seeing all three of those opportunities, while as you move back to the west and northwest, the chances become somewhat more limited. I hope that makes sense. That was a lot to throw at you. That was a lot to say. I'll look at rain totals. And again, I'm going to throw a few different computer models at you just so you have a lot of data to work with. Scattered rain chances mean scattered rain totals. Multiple waves of thunderstorms would obviously lead to some excessive rainfall potential, especially, as I mentioned, along the Mississippi Valley. But some areas will see some rain and miss out on the thunderstorms and may only see a few tenths of an inch of rain, while your neighbors to the east could easily pick up 2 or maybe even 3 inches in isolated forms. Here's just another model output painting some of the pictures of rain potential through Saturday morning. Again, higher totals to the east, lower totals to the west and the northwest. The official rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center over the next 3 days, again, lower totals to the northwest, higher to the east, with some spots perhaps along the Mississippi Valley picking up 2.5 inches of rain. And that's why that flood watch was issued for our neighbors to the east, the Jackson metro area, much of central and eastern Mississippi. Flash flood risk for tomorrow is a slight risk along the Mississippi Valley, marginal risk for everybody else, essentially meaning where we get thunderstorms and we get heavy rain, some localized ponding and street flooding and things like that are possible. It's also worth noting that we're in the wintertime, so we don't have, there's no vegetation on trees. We don't have, the grass is all dormant, so there's not as much vegetation and natural stuff soaking up water. Does that make sense? We don't have, the grass is all dormant, so it's not going to soak in all of the water. We don't have trees with leaves, or at least most trees don't have leaves, so those trees are not actively absorbing and taking in as much water. So it does lead to some localized flood issues. And along that note, it's also just quite dry. The drought conditions. The drought. Hang on a second. Hang on. Yeah, you got to look at me full screen for a second because I forgot to put the drought in here. The drought monitor. I showed it this morning. All of these graphics that I put in here. I almost forgot the drought monitor. There it is. Severe drought conditions across the vast majority of the region. Moderate drought conditions across the rest of the region, except for a few slivers that are under abnormally dry conditions. We need rain. And the downside to it is after we get out of the rain chances tonight, tomorrow, I don't really see rain for the next week after that. It may be the end of the month before we get any kind of significant storm systems back in across the region. Daytime highs today in the mid-70s. Scattered showers will be possible. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but the better chances of thunderstorms will be overnight and through the day tomorrow. Winds breezy out of the south. Lows tonight, mid to upper 60s. Some spots may hover close to 70. It's going to be a warm, muggy, soupy night across the region. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. And again, the scattered overnight storms could carry with it an isolated storm potential as well. May, Jan, Kelly, thank you so much for hopping in. Hello, Mr. Greg. He said it was foggy all the way to Memphis. I believe it, sir. Be careful. Safe travels. Look at the 7-day forecast. Made possible by 3B Hardware. They can get you squared away for severe weather season and winter weather season as well. Mid-70s for highs on Friday. Obviously, we've highlighted Friday in red. Just trying to get your attention. Please be alert to what will be happening through the day tomorrow. Obviously, I'll be here to keep you updated with the latest. Cooler temperatures through the weekend with highs in the low 50s. Sunday, Monday morning lows do dip back below freezing for the early parts of next week. Good morning to you as well, Gloria. And on that note, just as we get ready to prepare for severe weather, obviously that severe weather is not imminent, but a reminder tomorrow to charge your mobile devices. Be familiar with your surroundings, local roads, parishes, counties, towns that are nearby. I know that we have a lot of folks that are new in this area, or just that may be just visiting, vacationing, or just working here, and they may not be as familiar with the surroundings as normal. So familiarize yourself with some of the landmarks and surrounding areas. Review your severe weather plan with your family, and stay alert to the rapidly changing weather conditions and the latest weather information. Of course, we give you 3 different options for receiving severe weather alerts. The Digital Weather Desk app, which is available for Apple and Android users. I suggest picking up a NOAA weather radio. You can pick those up at 3B Hardware and many other places across the ArkLaMiss. And then also, we have teamed up with Weather Call Next Gen. You can find the details at digitalweatherdesk.com, but essentially, it is a paid service, an additional add-on service, if you will, that you can elect to purchase and register for that will give you calls, texts, or emails, or a combination of all 3 when a warning is issued for your address. And you can also move that location around if you travel a lot or what have you. You can also gift those subscriptions. All the information can be found at digitalweatherdesk.com. There's a tab that says Weather Call Next Gen. That's the one that you're going to want to click on. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app. I'll check in with you a little bit later today. About to basically type up everything that I just told you and put it out there for your reading pleasure. So you can check that out. It'll take me about an hour or so. And I'll check in with you later today as well. Fish and game later tonight. And, of course, we'll be here all day tomorrow to keep you updated with what's going on. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and be careful on the roadways.